The next on the list is screen time.
That is top of my
How
list. Like I get maximum people with this problem.
screen time.
Screen time management. How to make a child collaborate when it comes to screen. Okay. So with screen, I would suggest parents who have babies, infants, if you've not started screen yet, try to extend it as much
Extend
as
it as
possible.
much as possible.
When WHO says 2 years,
2
no
years.
screen, there is a reason.
Correct.
Let's go by it.
Yeah.
Brain development is just as that speed and this.
Mm.
And secondly, when we are talking at this age group, 6 to 12, where screen does like YouTube videos, there are some things which are really
Really good.
And yeah. And I would say we are fortunate enough to be able to see all these videos which are going on. In fact, I also yesterday also I was sitting with my children and watching some YouTube videos. Okay. So screens are neither good or bad after the age of 6, especially. It's the way you handle it.
Yeah.
And you can always take the good. Like, for example, knife. Knife can be used to cut veggies. It can be used to kill a person. How you use it.
Yeah.
Likewise with screen. So I would not say screen is bad. Now, but the problem is screen, especially when you're watching.
Yeah.
It is very addictive.
Correct.
It
By
is
nature, it is designed to be like that. Yeah.
It has designed. See, even the Instagram pages, the UI that you see, it has been made by psychologists in such a way that you want to just keep on scrolling. Why? Because this is giving us a dopamine rush. Dopamine is a happy hormone. Dopamine, dope means what? Drugs. So it's that kind, so it is giving that kind of a rush. And if suddenly, like I am feeling so nice looking at the screen, and if my parent comes and switches it off or takes away the tablet from my hand, it is irritating.
Angry,
Anger. Then you go there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say here again, when you start with screen for your babies, start for your children now in this age bracket, start with collaboration. So collaboration, power, these two things you start. So now, for example, your child is asking for a screen because she wants to watch a YouTube video. Great. Don't go into that screens are bad. Okay, you want to watch a YouTube video. Which one would you like to watch? Okay, I want to watch XYZ. You like to watch XYZ? What do you like about it? For this one, come on, let's watch together. Okay. And before that, you could also get into for how long would you like to watch it for? See, that's where the power
shifts.
You are giving. So you are also having the power, plus the child is also having. Child may say 3 hours, 4 hours or something. Anything, your child be prepared. But that doesn't mean you have to abide by it. In your mind, you decide a particular number. And you say that, what, I feel 20 minutes is sufficient. The child says something, and come to a win-win situation where you say 30 minutes. Okay, so now it's 11 o'clock. Then we go to 11:30. Do you want to set a timer by yourself? Okay, let the child set a timer by herself. Then again, we know about the dopamine thing going on. It's not possible at 11:30 you immediately.
Yeah, you have to remind them early.
Earlier, 5 minutes before. You know what? 5 minutes for the TV alarm to go and the TV to be switched off. Again, don't shout from the other room. Connect with your child. So what I do is before switching off the screen, I come and I sit with them. Okay, children, it's just 5 minutes more before we put on the screen. Okay, what is happening? Oh, this looks interesting. So now automatically I've sort of connected with them. We have become a team and we are watching that. So the last 5 minutes, it is both of them together in a way getting into the conversation such that continuous screen to the child viewing has slightly gotten disturbed and I am also in the picture. Okay. And then the alarm has rung and we need to switch off. We know it is difficult, but you know what? It's time up. And see, the child is going to put it off because the child has already, because it's happening in collaboration. So the power has shifted. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I understand what you're saying is that, instead of just telling them like, there is a hard stop at, in 30 or 10:30 or whatever time, we have said, you're saying sneak in, 5 minutes into the, time is left or maybe 10 minutes and then slowly move the conversation away, right? Like, what are you watching? And okay, so that's the first piece of collaborating in terms of setting limits on screen time. What else?
Right.
Right. So once you get into that, then you know it is 10:30, 30 minutes, the timer has gone off. Again, you can give the power and the control to your child and give them the remote to switch off the TV. So that is, again, they have got the control. So they have set the alarm.
Right.
You have come in slowly, you have connected with them. Now you have given them the remote where they switch off the TV. Now, let me tell you here also, there can be no, a little more and all these things. But that's where your parental control and is important. So there is where you have to say, see, we have spoken about this respectfully. We have spoken about this, and this is where we need to stop it. You may be, you are upset. It's okay. You are upset. I understand. But you know what? We cannot go beyond this. So that's how we handle that way. If there is a problem after that.
Yeah.
But
usually they say, I need 2 more minutes, no?
Yeah. And after that, you know what happens is, because you're in the screen, you have this dopamine rush because of the screen. Your hormones are high. And after 30 minutes, what are you doing? You're telling, go back to do your homework, go back to your studies. So you're coming here. That's very boring. So now what happens is studies gets a very bad association. Like after something so
as
nice,
like a punishment kind of
studies.
a thing. Yeah.
So then what do you do? So then instead of going to studies directly, keep about 5-10 minutes like a buffer where you do something interesting. Okay, maybe go for a snack, maybe let's just chat, or you can have a playtime after your screen time.
Correct. Yeah. I was just going to say that.
Play is also equally fun.
Exactly. Because to your point, I've often seen with my daughter, she'll like, can I play with you? Because, that's kind of their, the sweetest candy they can have. So, okay, that's an important point. So you transition into something maybe not that highly engaging, but equally interesting,
Interesting, not engaging necessarily. That's a good point. Not really engaging, but interesting. And I'll tell you what, children are interested in spending time with parents.
Oh, yeah. Even any day.
Just observing whatever you're doing. They like it.
I think, to be honest, screen has become a problem because we are not available. And that's the hard truth, which, unfortunately, in the times that we are living, the parent also can't do much about it. The child also cannot do much about it. But we all, obviously, we need to fight the limitations. You can't just give in, sort of.
Exactly. That's what I say. You be aware.
Correct.
Of the advantages, of the disadvantages.
Disadvantages also.
And also how can you maneuver?
Correct. Absolutely.
That way. So I never say no screen. I always say develop a healthy relationship with screen.
Screen, yes. Yeah, that's beautifully said, because, when they move out in the world, right now, we are talking about children who are 7, 10, whatever. And, these children are still kind of influenced by us. They're asking, please, they're asking us to do this, but there will come a time when they'll not ask you. And you will have no clue whatsoever of what they're up to. And that is the time this internal anchor that, you've been talking about, that comes in handy. Because, smoking is bad. Drinking is bad. Can you still have one drink and just taste it out and then let it be? Or you drink every day? What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah. So I think
our children are going to make that decision for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. Interestingly said. Very useful point. So I understand, Janice, that, we're talking about collaboration, we're talking about sneaking in, and we're talking about transitioning into something more interesting, maybe playing with them. How about when parents are not at home? Then what happens?
That is interesting, because now this is a very common thing I get to hear. Because see, parents are working, and normally there is a nanny and there are grandparents there to take care. And they don't really know the repercussions of why you're doing this. Because what grandparents say is, a child is happy. What happens with 5 more minutes? There's no harm. Because evidently you don't see a harm right now.
Immediately, yeah.
Immediately, there is no short-term side effects that you see right now. So they don't get it. So what happens is, now we have to start working as a team with our parents or in-laws. Communicate with them. So first you need to understand that grandparents are also coming from a place of love and care.
Concern,
for your child. So instead of going against a grandparent, that you shouldn't show screen to the child, and you tell your child you shouldn't watch screen. So now what happens? You are against two parties. But now what you need to do is you need to work together as a team for the betterment of the child. So I would say first step is in your mindset, you get that shift that they are also coming from a place of love and care. Second, you communicate with them, talk to them that, what, this is what research is saying. This is what is happening in the world around. And what we are doing is for the betterment of the baby, of the child, and all those things. And we also, when we are with our in-laws and parents, what we need to understand is there will be lots of small snippets that keep coming with discussions and arguments related to child rearing. So you need to choose your battles wisely.
Right.
And that's where the battle with screen is something that you need to fight.
Correct. Yeah.
Like absolutely. A non-negotiable fight.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So that is why I cannot take this singularly, this one thing. So I would say this is something that you need to first communicate, and even with communication, it's not happening. You need to fight that no, screen time is something that I will be rigid about. Then in that case, there are other aspects, then you'll have to give leeway.
Yeah, it's like, like you're saying, again, collaboration, So
work as a team.
Figure out, what works. Yeah, right.
That way. And with nanny also, with best thing is with nannies, they'll do what you say.
What you tell them, right?
You don't have to keep explaining, but you train them properly. कि देखो पहले ऐसे करना, फिर ऐसे करना, then do this, and then if anything happens, then let me know. Yeah. So that kind of things with screens and all, you can do that.
Right. And I think, to your point, there could be instances where, let's say, the child is not really listening, or following through with what the nanny is saying. In that case, this is something I have used, I work from home, and there are times when we've set a limit. We've set a sort of, that, okay, 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever, but I'm getting into a call, So then what I have started doing is I have set timers on each of the apps that she uses.
That's nice one.
You cannot extend that. Even if you want to, you'll have to come to me. So then we'll see what happens. So that is also another approach. And I have also heard from some people, they just turn off the Wi-Fi. Okay,
oh yeah.
After 30 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever, it's not going to work. And then obviously you go back to doing whatever else you want to do. I'm not saying you study, but go back to do whatever else you want to do.
Yeah. So I think that is another good thing. Go back to do what you want to do. Again, giving power.
Then the power,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's a nice one.
I think that's, I feel, it's important to, you rightly pointed out, we are saying that, okay, no, finish your, video, and we have to study and we have to do homework. So obviously homework and school is getting a bad rap, So.
Right.
Okay, so we have collaborating with the grandparents, and working as a team with either the grandparents or whosoever is taking care of, the child in your absence. And third of all, if nothing works, just switch off, the Wi-Fi.
Use technology against technology, like the one you pointed out, the timer part.
Set controls, thankfully all these apps today have digital controls, and you can actually, there are times when, let's say I'm away or something, she's watched longer than I would have wanted. So I show it to her that, see, you watched for 1 hour today, and I don't think that's a good thing. How do you feel about that? Yeah. A bit too much. So, okay. So next time, so again, you are discussing versus announcing. I think the whole approach is that don't be dictatorial about parenting, thinking that your child is a 6 or 7 year old and therefore they don't have a mind of their own is the biggest fallacy.
Yeah.
Okay.